EastEnders Vicki Fowler locks lips with Zack Hudson next week after opening up to him about the lingering trauma of Joel Marshall's attack. Could this be the beginning of a real relationship between Sharon Watts' half-siblings? Following a chaotic quiz night at the Vic, Vicki retreats to her flat and confides in Zack about the emotional scars she's been carrying since Joel's violent assault. Zack does his best to comfort her, but the moment turns intimate, and the two end up sharing a kiss. Kathy walks in just as they're caught up in the moment. Zack quickly insists it was a brief lapse in judgment and that Sharon doesn't need to hear about it. It's left to Kathy to decide whether to keep quiet, but with Sharon still away in Florida, the secret might remain safe, provided they can hide it from Ross. The week begins with Vicki discovering that Joel intends to plead not guilty at his upcoming trial. The revelation shakes her, yet she still agrees to join the pub quiz later that day. At the Vic, she and Ross end up on the same team, which helps ease the tension between them. But when Vicki heads to the bar, Chelsea's date Damon catches her eye, and not for good reasons. Vicki becomes suspicious when she sees Damon and soon overhears him talking to his wife on the phone. Outraged, she publicly exposes him as a cheat, causing a scene in the pub. Later, Vicki follows Damon into the laundrette, sparking another heated confrontation. When Damon lunges at her, she instinctively pushes him away. Moments later, he hits the floor, badly injuring his head. Before panic can set in, Zack rushes to her side and takes charge of the situation. But can he shield her from more trouble? Afterward, Zack admits to Kathy that kissing Vicki was wrong, especially given her fragile state. Ever wise, Kathy advises him to focus on his son Barney, who needs him now more than ever. Was Vicki and Zack's kiss a momentary lapse, or the start of something deeper? EastEnders' character confirmed dead in shocking and vital new story. Okieokiere's reign of terror is set to reach a violent and bloody conclusion as the EastEnders drug dealer and manipulator meets his end at the hands of Harry Mitchell in tomorrow's episode, marking the dramatic close of the harrowing, cuckooing storyline. Oki first appeared in Albert Square after Ravi Gulati, having lost his family's fortune when Bernie Taylor emptied the Panasar accounts, turned to Nicola Mitchell for a drug connection to earn some fast cash. Despite Nicola's warnings about her dangerous contacts, Ravi went ahead and built his own operation, appointing Oki as his right-hand man. Their criminal enterprise soon took a darker turn when police raided their original base. With Harry under their control after he tried to defend Kojo Asare, who had accidentally disposed of their stash, Ravi and Oki set their sights on Kojo himself. Kojo, an autistic man, became particularly vulnerable to their manipulation. Under the pretense of friendship, they took over his flat and turned it into a hub for their drug network, coercing him into running drugs for them. Cuckooing is the term used when criminals take over the home of a vulnerable person to conduct illegal activities. EastEnders executive producer Ben Wadey explained, "At EastEnders, we're committed to telling stories that reflect real-life struggles, and Kojo's cuckooing plot feels especially significant. Cuckooing is a hidden form of exploitation that we've never tackled before. Through Kojo's experience, we've aimed to show how easily vulnerable people can be isolated and controlled, even in a busy city like London, where it's easy to feel invisible." He added that the team worked closely with experts and charities to portray the story authentically and raise awareness about the warning signs of exploitation and the importance of seeking help. EastEnders collaborated with Causeway and the National Autistic Society to ensure the storyline was portrayed with realism and sensitivity. Helen Ball, CEO of Causeway, said, "Cuckooing is a cruel and degrading form of exploitation. We're grateful to have worked with EastEnders on such an important story that helps the public recognize grooming and abuse." Dr. Judith Brown from the National Autistic Society added, "It's been an honor to support EastEnders on this storyline. Sadly, autistic people are at higher risk of manipulation and abuse because they may find it difficult to read social cues or spot harmful intentions. We hope this encourages people to learn how to identify the signs of exploitation." Oki's downfall begins when Harry tries to escape the nightmare. Nicola intervenes to save her son by cutting a deal with Ravi for his release. But Harry refuses to abandon Kojo, instead enlisting his father, Teddy Mitchell, to help free him using a hidden camera. When Ravi and Oki uncover the plan, they capture Harry. Although Ravi learns enough to shut down the camera, he is forced to flee after hearing that rival dealers are coming after him for selling on their territory. Ravi orders Oki to let Harry go before disappearing, but Oki defies him, chaining Harry in Kojo's spare room, starving him, and pressuring him to take drugs to dull the pain. Oki then pretends that Harry and Kojo have gone on holiday to Cardiff, while continuing to use Kojo for his business. Terrified for his friend, Kojo escapes and tells George what's happening. Together with Teddy, they rush to rescue Harry, only to find Oki attempting to drag him away in a van. When police sirens blare, Oki drops Harry's lifeless body. In the latest episode, Ravi, now cooperating with the police, is confronted by a desperate Oki who's being hunted by his superiors. Ravi tells him only one thing: to run. Meanwhile, Kojo insists on returning to his flat to check on things, and unexpectedly comes face to face with Oki. Tomorrow's tense episode will bring the long-running storyline to a shocking climax, as Harry and Oki finally come face to face in a violent confrontation that has been building for weeks. With emotions running high and years of pain boiling over, Harry's desperate bid for survival reaches a breaking point when he turns the tables on his abuser, using Oki's own knife against him in a struggle that ends in tragedy. The encounter is set to be one of the most dramatic and emotionally charged scenes EastEnders has delivered this year, marking the end of Oki's reign of fear and exploitation in Walford. Viewers will witness the true toll of the ordeal on both Harry and Kojo, as the aftermath of the fatal fight ripples through the square and leaves the Mitchell family facing devastating consequences. To ensure that the intense scenes are portrayed responsibly, the EastEnders production team collaborated closely with the Ben Kinsella Trust, an organisation dedicated to raising awareness about knife crime and its devastating effects. The charity provided expert guidance to help the show depict the stabbing sequence with realism and sensitivity, highlighting the real-world dangers and irreversible consequences of violence. Speaking about the collaboration, a representative from the Trust praised the soap's commitment to authenticity and education, emphasizing that storylines like this can play a vital role in sparking conversations about youth violence and prevention. By blending raw emotion, powerful performances, and careful storytelling, EastEnders aims not only to deliver gripping drama, but also to shine a light on the devastating impact that knife crime continues to have on communities across the UK. EastEnders airs Monday to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One, with episodes also available early on BBC iPlayer from 6 a.m.